Debbie's episode 405 of Outlander has aired now. Savages. I think this is actually probably maybe the best episode of the season so far. Dare I say it? What do you think?
It was pretty good. Yeah. Just
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And so I'm Rob.
I'm Paula.
And we are Gold Derby's resident married couple, talking about your favorite married couple on your favorite TV show on your favorite website, Gold Derby. And look, I tell you what, a couple of weeks ago when we watched this episode, I posted on Twitter that there were tears and applause for this, and I couldn't wait to share it with everybody who has seen it. This is it, and it's all because of hashtag Everybody Loves Murtagh.
Everybody loves Murtagh. When we watched this, I was thinking, I've got to wait weeks to talk about this episode. Now we finally can.
And here's the thing. This is not in the books.
No, it's not. So in the books, Murtagh dies at Culloden. So for me, and hashtag Everybody Loves Murtagh, I was doing another fangirl scream during this episode. Yeah. So this was an embarrassing one to watch with you, but I was giddy with excitement watching this episode, especially. Can we just skip to that scene? Can we just talk about that scene first?
Sorry, I was muted. Let me just do all the pleasantries first. And by the way, I want to give props to our good friend and my colleague Amanda Spears, who I used to do these videos with for years. And she coined the phrase hashtag Everybody Loves Murtagh. And I've been I'm just running with it. And we always say it now because we really do freaking love that character. And I love Duncan Lacroix who plays him. Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
So let me just read what the episode synopsis shall I call it. So Claire's medical expertise proves invaluable for a family of German settlers, but she soon finds herself in the role of peacemaker when a Cherokee tribe encroaches on the superstitious immigrants' land. When tragedy strikes her patient's household, Claire fears retribution from both sides of the fight. Jamie and young Ian travel to a nearby town to recruit settlers for Fraser's Ridge, but find their progress hindered by a burgeoning political movement and a ghost from Jamie's past. In the 20th century, Roger travels to Inverness to search for a missing Brianna, only to make a shocking discovery. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, so the scene, look, I like this show a lot. Huge fan. And it's mainly because this has always been your show. And I got into it and really became quite fond of it and have covered it at Gold Derby for years. And I love the characters. And I think Katrina Balfe and Sam Heughan are amazing. Richard Rankin, Sophie Skelton, really great. But I have an affinity for Murtagh. I don't know why. Everybody does, right? But I think it's because he's a bit of an outsider. He's a bit of a rough diamond, and he's so loyal and so lovable, and he's paternal. And I think we all appreciate people like that. Why do you love him?
I think you summed it up. He's got this rough exterior, but he can be inside like a marshmallow, which I think is really, really cute. And I also like him as a character because he doesn't pull any punches. You know, he calls a spade a spade. That's it. It is what it is. And if you don't like it, that's Murtagh's opinion, and he's gonna go with it, and he sticks with it, and he is loyal, and he will be there. Just everything you said, yeah. Everybody loves Murtagh.
Basically, and the thing is, the scene where Jamie walks into the blacksmith, whatever you want to call it.
Oh my God.
I wasn't really expecting it. I didn't know it was going to happen. I didn't know Duncan Lacroix had signed on for season 4. I really didn't. And so when he walked in, and then you started getting
out of a rock.
Basically, yes. And then you started getting all antsy, and you're getting on the edge of your seat, and you started getting all excited. I'm like, what's she doing? And then I realized, oh, this is freaking Murtagh. It's going to be this is going to be Murtagh. And then Duncan Licuria turns around, and I had goosebumps. I had goosebumps, people, and I felt like my very black, dry eyes starting to water up, and I'm like, what is this sensation that I'm feeling? And it's like, I actually care about this guy, and I'm really happy to see him. Really, very well done. Very, very well done.
It's a technique we've seen before in like other shows and movies, you know, where you don't see the face. You know, they shoot everything from the boots to the really amazing costume. Again, Terry. You know, and then all you hear is you see him working, and then you see young Ian but coming into the shop over his shoulder, and then you hear the voice and you're like, oh my God, is it? No, it can't be. Oh my God, yes, it is. Like, this was everything that was going through my mind. I'm like squealing, and then you still don't see Murtagh's face. You just hear him talking to young Ian, and then young Ian walks out, and I forget the phrase he called him. I think he called him an old coot, which had me in stitches. And then, you know, Jamie comes in, wants to rip a new one into this blacksmith, and you turn around and Sam Heughan's face just said it all. And I'm like, finally. The last time they saw each other was at Ardsmuir, and finally he gets it. Oh, yeah. Just emotions from 0 to 100 in that scene.
But see, like, the thing is, if this wasn't in the book, then who would have been playing the character, or like what would have been going on in the book, in the universe that the book created, without the creators of the show bringing back such a popular character? Obviously, because the fans really love him. Like, what's going on there?
Well, obviously, I don't recall an integral character with a blacksmith occupation, but there is stuff that does happen with the Regulators, which you find out later on when Murtagh takes Jamie and Ian to a meeting, and they find out, oh my goodness, Murtagh is the leader of the Regulators. So, and there is a similar conversation piece when they're at the meeting, where I think Jamie politely turns down Murtagh's offer to join the Regulators. There is a similar conversation in the books, but it's not Murtagh. I do unfortunately forget what the character's name is, but yeah. So I think they've specifically written this blacksmith, the leader of the Regulators, specifically for Murtagh, I believe.
Yeah. So okay, and that really explains all of that side of it, and then, like, just so we can move on. But I think like that the main part of this episode was seeing that Murtagh was back, and he's going to be an integral part of the show again, and that's wonderful. But let's talk about the Mullers for a bit. So the German settlers, that was an interesting storyline, because
that was a heartbreaking storyline.
Yeah, because they're kind of like superstitious, and also very religious, and also a little bit bigoted, which is not uncommon for that period of time, and even now, let's be real. And they all contract measles, fulfilling Naowane's prophecy, and that was interesting. It kind of gave Claire once again the ability to be the modern woman, the intelligent one, and also try to kind of solve a problem. It's like Claire in problem solver mode again.
Yeah, it was really great to see Katrina in that, and I thought she did a wonderful job. But yeah, watching it, just knowing that it was going to end that way, you really felt for Claire and even the family. Like, because you can, even if you haven't read the books, you could see the writing on the wall. Something bad was going to happen, and it's just heartbreaking to watch. And then the little scene in between where Claire was at the cabin by herself, and she just had Rollo with her, watching Katrina go through those stages of bone-chilling fear, because she's by herself and she's expecting, these people to come and take retribution out on her, because the baby and the baby's mother had died. So I was like, even I was quite scared. I knew what was going to happen, but I was still scared. So I thought that was a very sadly, but a really beautiful done scene.
The other scene that I really loved was towards the beginning where Naya Winnie, the female like Native American shaman or whatever you want to call her, and um, Claire was sharing that very close bond, and it was like the two healers from
That was
getting
beautiful.
together. Very well done as well. Very effective. And obviously slightly manipulative, but in a good way, because we started to then relate to this woman, not Claire, but relate to her and also like her and appreciate her. And then she ends up being scalped. Which is really
hard. You're right. It was really, for want of a better adjective, it was manipulative. But you're like, and they're sitting there and they're talking, and then you're like, and then all of a sudden, that's like a knife to the heart. You're like, oh no, she's gone already.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this episode had a range of emotions. You sort of started here, and then you went up for, because you're scared, and then you went down, and then you had elation, and then happiness. And this one was a roller coaster. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, like I was going to get you to reenact your reaction to when you realized it was Murtagh, but I can't remember what it was.
Well, it sort of went something along the lines of something along those lines.
That's right. Because I was like, are you okay? Are you going to have a heart attack? Like, what's happening here? Are we good? And then realized that you were just excited. So I want to talk about, there's three major highlights. There's another one that I love, and that's obvious. All for me, it's always a 20th century. So Brianna finds the death notice. She knows what's going to happen. She flees to the stones. And we can see, we think, she goes through the stones. And I was just like, even I was like, yes, because I'm loving the sci-fi element of this show. I love it. When they're like time traveling and she's going through the stones. I'm like, since when can she go through the stones? And obviously there's reasons for that, and you've explained it before, and I don't remember. But I was like, oh yes, she's gone through the stones. And I was just like, quick, we need to watch the next episode. It's going to be all about that. We'll talk about that later. So what was your reaction to Brianna going through the stones because she's trying to save her parents?
Other than the fact I had to explain it to you again, I was the same. I was so excited. Okay, that episode's finished. Let's put the next one on. But I was really, really excited about it. And when she ran to Inverness to go to Craignadoon, and she's there, and I was just really, really excited. And but trying to explain it to you, because she can go through the stones because she is Claire's daughter. And then just so everybody out there can remember, Roger can go through the stones too, because don't forget, he is a descendant of Galus Duncan. So if he wanted to, he probably could if he wanted to try. I don't know if he does, but he could if he wanted to. And that's how Brianna can go through the stones, because she is Claire's daughter. And isn't this the episode where we see her touch the bracelet at the end?
I really can't remember.
Well, I'm pretty sure she touches her bracelet, because don't forget, to get through stones, you need a gem.
I probably knew that, but I just didn't remember. But I want to say this before we wrap up, that I can name some of the episodes that I think are the best of this show so far. So, for example, the last two episodes of season 1, incredible.
Yeah.
Season 2, I just really, for me, I loved Untimely Resurrection. Is the episode where they encounter Jack Black in the the Versailles Gardens, I think, and also Faith, and also Dragonfly and Amber, the finale. The next season 3 doesn't have a lot of highlights for me. There was a couple though. It was a pretty it wasn't as good as season 2 for me. And this episode, Savages, I'd put in that list.
Really?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was that well done.
You thought it was that good? Look, I must admit, I really liked it because of Murtagh coming back. But for all the other seasons, I'd probably have to get back to you on that. But obviously for me, from a whole different elemental, the wedding would have to be somewhere in that list from season 1. But that's just my personal opinion. But if you want other seasons, I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, well, we might have to pick that up another time. But anyway, everybody, look, keep with us because Outlander is just getting better and better. We're really kind of gearing up now, some really interesting storylines. Stick with us. You can follow us at Robert Licuria, at Paula Licuria on Twitter, at Gold Derby on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. You can just visit us on the site. Watch us on YouTube. Make sure you comment down below. I want to see your feedback. I want to hear what you think of the show and what you're loving and hating and not liking and loving and whatever from season 4 of Outlander. I want to hear all about it. And be back next week because we'll be reviewing season 4, episode 6. Other than that, see you later. And thanks for joining us.
Bye.